Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Gonna wait for a couple people to hop on. Hope everyone's having an awesome start to your week. I got a couple people jumping on. Maybe give it another minute or so. Thank you for being here, sharing your afternoon with me. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about the importance of onboarding today. So before we get started, I'll quickly introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Allie Huntoon, and I am an HR account manager at Allied HR Solutions. Allied HR Solutions is a brand new consulting business, and our goal is to share our HR expertise and knowledge with small and growing businesses in the Midland, Michigan area. So let's talk a little bit about onboarding. I think I shared last week a stat that said new hires that undergo a structured onboarding process are 58% more likely to stay with the company after 3 years. So that's a pretty big number, 58%. So first let's talk about why that's important to stay with a company for more than a year. Turnover. Turnover is costly, it's time consuming, and it really impacts your culture. Another thing too is if you're always having a lot of turnover, a lot of new employees coming in and out of your organization, it's also confusing for clients and customers, especially if those employees are client facing. So how do we get our employees to stay? How do we streamline that onboarding process and get the new hires excited and get that process rolling? Couple ways that we can look at doing that. The first thing is I think it's important to have a structured onboarding process in place now before you're hiring, before you're looking for new talent, or before someone new joins your organization. You never know when you're going to be looking, and you never know when the perfect fit might come across your organization and want to join it. So we should really have these in place already so that you're not scrambling at the last minute trying to get your onboarding process put in place. So some things that you should have right away. Everything should be branded. So take a look at your company. What are your colors? What are your beliefs? What are your values? Do you have a logo? When you think about a new hire coming into a new position, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to switch jobs. It really does. I mean, not only the transition from one company to another, but it's a lot of change in your personal life. Your commute's going to be different. Your day-to-day is going to be different. Even your 401k, switching that around, your health insurance, your benefits. So it takes a lot of effort, and it's a pretty big leap for a new hire to leave their current company to come to your organization. So let's think about how we want to make them feel. We want to make them feel excited, engaged, happy they made this decision to join your organization right away. And we can even think about that Maya Angelou quote. That's one of my favorites. People will always forget what you do and say, but they'll never forget how they made you feel. And that rings true, especially in the onboarding process. So let's think about what's going to make those new hires excited. Maybe it's a handbook. Maybe it's a sheet of paper that describes the incentive program, a flex time program. Maybe it's a presentation from the CEO of your company talking about their beliefs. Maybe it's talking about the organization volunteer opportunities that are available. So really think about the materials that you want to give your new hire on their first day, and make sure that they're exciting, engaging, branded, and cohesive. So something to keep in mind. We want to start compiling that now. Another thing too is you really want to make sure that you have a streamlined onboarding process established. So, what does that first day look like for that new hire? They're going to come in, they're not going to know what to do, they're not going to know where to go. So, who is that person that's going to take that on? Do you have a dedicated HR staff member? Is it going to be their manager? Maybe you set up a mentor program. But either way, you should have these in place so that when your new hire shows up on the first day, you're not scrambling, looking unorganized and unprofessional. We want to make sure that they're engaged right away and excited to be part of your business, your organization. We really want to make sure that we have everything put in place so that they have a successful first day, they're excited to return, and so that they're not confused. So that's another thing too that many small businesses should really think about when onboarding a new employee on. So new employees are not familiar with your acronyms. They're not familiar with your specific jargon for your organization. So maybe it's an FAQ sheet. Maybe it's setting up that mentor so they have that person to go to when they have a one-off question. People get nervous when they have questions and when they're unsure. So we really want to mitigate that and try to minimize it as much as possible so they feel comfortable and excited and ready to learn their new role and get trained and start contributing. So that's the main takeaway here is employee engagement and excitement. But there's also the compliance side as well. So obviously super important to get your employees engaged on the first day. Look organized, have your packet ready with all of your company beliefs, values, policies, but you can't forget about the compliance side too. So that first day is also going to have to look like compliance training. Do you have a sexual harassment training? Do you have a workplace violence training? Do you have a fire or active shooter training? That also looks like regulatory paperwork. So the I-9, completing that, getting all of the regulatory documentation to support that. You're also going to need, depending on where you live and your state regulations, the state of Michigan has a new hire reporting form. So that's something that you need to file with the state, and that helps them keep track of employees for garnishments, for child support, all that kind of stuff. So it's also important to make sure that you have that outlined as well. Who's going to be collecting those documents? Where are they going to be housed? Who's going to be checking them over to make sure that they're correct, that they're filled out completely, that they're getting to where they need to go? Something to think about before your new hire comes on the first day. So maybe that is someone in-house. Maybe you have a dedicated staff member that, just does recruiting and onboarding. But for a lot of small businesses, when the business owner is the CEO, CFO, marketing, HR, everything in between, usually there's not a dedicated person to take on that role. And that's where I can help and I can step in, and that's kind of our goal at Allied HR Solutions, is really partnering with you to make sure that you have everything you need as a small business owner to make these transitions seamless. So, that looks like branding, it looks like coming up with your core values and what you're going to convey to your employee on their very first day. So a lot of stuff to think about there, kind of unpack that. If you have any questions, let me know. My plan is every Tuesday afternoon to go live, at least for 10-15 minutes. Different HR topic from week to week. So if you have any topic ideas or anything that comes to your mind that you'd like to talk about or have a discussion around, drop it in the comments. I would love if you like and shared this video. Get the word out. Super appreciative for all the support that you guys have been giving me. So have a wonderful Tuesday. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, you know where to find me. My website is alliedhrs.com. We do have free consultations. So I would love to talk with you about your business, your personal business needs, and come up with a customized solution. to get your business running seamlessly. So have a great afternoon. Thanks for chatting with